Man, my sister was yelling the other day. Well, man, my sister was throwing things the other day. Or man, my sister was stealing the other day. I mean, people, it's not something you see every day. And, people sometimes find it difficult to relate to that. And when you have something like that, it's incredibly important to find someone you can relate to, or someone you can at least tell.
Nellie has close friends indeed, but these friends are not the normal friends that you would see every day. One friend of hers is a bisexual, anti-religious, witch wannabe that has no clue of what she is talking about. Another is a violent, bipolar kid that constantly uses violence toward people. And yet another friend steals, lies, and deceives from anyone. And it irritates people for no reason. She has more friends. They're just like this. So, are you expecting me to believe that she needs to find someone to relate in order to help with her problems? These people do almost the same thing as Nellie does. Nellie gives them tips of how to do some of these things, like stealing, for example.
There doesn't necessarily have to be a friend. It can be a school counselor, it can be a teacher. I don't know if you're very close to your instructors. I don't know if you're close to your parents, but that can be a possibility, or maybe an aunt, uncle, or grandparents, coach.
The aunts and uncles are nothing but dope-headed idiots that doesn't give a rat's ass about her. If you have ever paid attention to my old blog entries or my videos, you would know by now that the parents are deceased. As for the coach, counselor, or teacher, it had failed, and I'll explain why in my upcoming videos.
If you want, I'm more than willing to be that person. If you ever want to talk or vent or just tell me, man, this is what's going on with me, don't be afraid to email me, or don't be afraid to MSN or Yahoo me. I sent you my information, and that's the same for anyone on here. If anyone has anything they need to talk about or whatnot, don't be afraid to email MSN or Yahoo me. My MSN is urgodandIanNot That's also my email address. My Yahoo is IAMWHOITHINKIAM and if you get me either of those ways, I'll be more than willing to talk to you. If you don't have those and you just want to talk on Facebook message, on Yahoo on YouTube message, that's cool too. But if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. But I want to make sure you have someone to talk to.
Why bother messaging you if you've never have bothered looking at my original videos, blog entries, etc.? These are useful information in those videos that you have refused to accept.
Now, before we go on, I want to tell you that I'm not a professional. I do not have a professional degree in psychology, psychiatry, or any related field. I do have a little training. I've been doing groups probably nearly daily for a couple of years, going to groups, not necessarily leading them. But I've also done tons of reading. I've just gotten incredibly involved in the mental health field, but I do not have a degree. I'm not a professional, and anything I say cannot replace the advice of a professional, nor can it be the advice of a professional. I can't say that she has this or she has that, because, I don't know, because I don't have a degree, and it's not my place to say that.
In fact, I took a 7x7 class of college psychiatry and understood the human mind. I learned different types of abnormal behavior, disorders, etc. I'm planning to take another class of it, but this time for a semester. What comes to a shock to me is that you said that you have experience of these kinds of things, but you don't exactly give enough detail of what experience you have accomplished. Nor do you explain of your education matter of how you think you know all this stuff.
But I can tell you some things that might help you cope, and that's what I want to do.
Cope? Is that what we have to do in order to live through the strain of misery and torture from an opposition that wants to hurt, steal, lie, and even threaten in order to get their way in life? Coping is basically giving into their demands and causing more fear and disruption?
First, I want to reassure you that, you have the right to be safe. If Nellie is ever in any way compromising your safety, it is both your right and responsibility to get some help outside of the house. Call someone to come pick you up. Don't be afraid to dial 911 if you have to. Because, it would be better to have a mad sister than to be hard. And, your safety comes first. It really does. And I know that can be difficult, but just how it is. Alright, some things that kind of might help you cope a little. Number one, sometimes it helps to find a safe place or somewhere you can go outside the house. For me, it's the library. When I don't want to be around, whatever's going on in my house, I go to the library and I just read a couple hours, It's kind of maybe not perfect, but, it's someplace that's safe, someplace that I can just kind of escape for a bit. For you, it might be the park, it might be a friend's house, it might be the arcade. I don't know what you're into, but just finding somewhere you can go. Or maybe finding a hobby you can do, just something you can do to escape. Because to deal with that 24 hours a day, that's incredibly difficult. And, it's not something I'd recommend anyone putting themselves through. Not that you put yourself through it.
So, you're telling me that by removing myself out of the house or call some help would ease Nellie's stress? For one thing, the house is not Nellie's. Second, there's no reason why we should even leave the house just because of Nellie's disruptive and violent behavior. And third, the so-called help I will explain to in my next video, and this won't exactly work.
Coping tip number 2. Sometimes it helps to just remember that maybe this isn't something Nellie can control so much. I know that can be hard to say, and that can be hard to even think, but people who have mental illnesses, they often say or do things that they would never do if they didn't. I've had several friends who have obsessive confinement disorder. I've met people who've had bipolar disorder, and, after a rage or during a rage or when I've talked to them, I repeatedly hear, it's something that causes you harm. It's something that really gets on you. And I wouldn't doubt it's getting on Nellie, a lot of these people, I doubt there's not a day that they don't think, I wish I could be normal. I wish that, I didn't get so angry so quickly. I wish that, I didn't feel the impulse to do whatever. I wish that I didn't feel the need to be, quote, defiant or, quote, oppositional. I didn't feel the need to, maybe not be able to trust. And, I don't know Nellie. I don't know you. I don't know what you're dealing with here, but, I don't think she would willingly put anyone through this. And I don't think she's doing it because she wants to harm you.
This is true that some mental disorders cannot be controlled, but for Nellie it can. She chooses not to use good judgment, instead uses violence and hatred to get more out of life. Bipolar disorder is a bit different than ODD, so I don't see why you're making some excuse of bipolar now. Like I said, you never read or seen my videos to begin with, except the Angry Nellie video, which provided barely any information.
Number 2. Something that kind of helps is, a lot of people with children with oppositional confinement disorder, and I know I was a teenager, but when they do things, a lot of times it's because they feel a need to see a reaction. Now, reaction, and you've probably heard the thing, attention seeking or blah blah blah, and I'm not a big fan of that, but there is a little truth to that. A lot of children in Nellie's position or with oppositional confinement disorder feel the need to, just get that attention, get that, negative attention or whatnot, and, to ignore it. And to ignore it is an incredibly difficult task, but it may help. Because when she's not getting that response, when she's not getting a reaction, maybe not a reaction she wants, when she's not getting whatever reason she's doing this behavior, and there's always a reason behind every behavior, we have something to get out of something, and she's not getting that, she might lessen me a little.
Nellie uses attention by the means of getting her way. She wouldn't care of who it is, what they have done, etc. She does it for a reason. There is a choice either not to do it or to continue this behavior. Ignoring this will result in even worse behavior. Without punishment and avoiding the behavior as the means of leaving the house will result in Nellie using this opportunity to gain even more control into the household and onto the people living there. All coping will do is increase the person's stress, depression, and hatred to the person, and have to continue to live with it until she either stops or isn't living here.